Deadpool is known for his cameos in other books. He shows up in the X-Men, he shows up in X-Force, he has long-running series of his own out there. But Deadpool is a fan favorite. Well, in this weird drought of 0 ongoing Deadpool books, they did come out with a series of short stories known as Deadpool Black, White, and Blood. The way that this book works is there are short stories involving some of the adventures that Deadpool has gone on. And today we're going to be bringing you issue 1 of this short story series. This is Comicstorian. I bring you audio narratives of your favorite comic books. I act out the characters, I give you a grating voice like in a narration style format, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So today is Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood, issue 1. As Spider-Man's phone begins to ring and the caller ID shows Deadpool, MJ tells him to just let it go to voicemail. Next, Wolverine picks up his phone asking, "What?" And Deadpool tells him, "Is that any way to answer your phone? Shame they couldn't bond some manners into that adamantium." Wolverine asks, "Is this Wade? How did you get my number?" But instead of letting Deadpool answer, he just throws the phone away. Finally, Deadpool calls Honey Badger, and as she answers, she says, "Hey!" And Deadpool tells her, "Thank God, no one else would take my call. I tried calling everyone else first, but, well, calling a kid first for something dangerous and violent isn't always the best approach. And remember, kids, if you see intestines on the outside of a person, this content is not for you." With that, Honey Badger arrives at Palmolive Industries asking, "What is it, another zombie lab of animals?" And Deadpool tells her, "Yep, and something got out, and we gotta bring it in." Honey Badger asks how are they going to do that. So Deadpool tells her, "That part is easy, just follow the screams." And as for what we're looking for, well, it's black, white, and red all over. This jerk! A zombie zebra comes running down the street, killing everyone in its path. Deadpool goes on saying, "It could slaughter someone at 40 miles an hour. It's 900 pounds of hell with hooves. I call it zombie bra." Up ahead, a man listening to his headphones walks across the street, looking up. Oh hey, the zebra. The zebra charges right through the man in an explosive show of blood and guts. Deadpool yells, "That will be his last blorch." The two stab the zebra, bringing it down, and the undead animal falls on Deadpool, with Honey Badger asking if he's okay. Deadpool tells her he's just a little broken in some key areas. Maybe his hand was bitten. So Honey Badger hacks off the hand. "Why would you do that?" She tells him because of the zombie virus. And Deadpool tells her that he's pretty sure he's immune to that stuff, but he appreciates the concern. And now they need to take care of the real problem. So later at Palmolive's office, he asks who are they, and how do they even get in? Deadpool tells him that as it turns out, a lot of people in your office actually don't like you or what you're doing. So I've come to put a stop to you. Huh, funny, get out. Honey Badger pops her claw, but Deadpool says, how about we let the baby zebras out of here? And Honey Badger says that she's actually dreamed that one day she'd be the Pied Piper of ponies. Deadpool chuckles. Who hasn't? Now I and Mr. Palmolive are going to have a little chat. Once Honey Badger leaves, Deadpool looks at him. Look, Gabby's a good kid. She was also made by people like you to be a monster. But she became something else, something so much better than a lot of us. So for her, I'm going to give you a chance to stop being a walking sack of evil and stop torturing animals. Palmolive grabs his gun. You sound like my board. Bunch of cowards. But I'm not turning down military contracts because of some bleeding hearts. And Deadpool looks at him. You want to make more zombie zebras? Then I say to thee, nay! And he stabs Palmolive in the chest. Hotline to heaven. All was right in the world as Deadpool sits in his apartment with his popcorn, getting ready to watch one of his favorite movies of all time, Hotline to Heaven, starring his favorite actress in the entire world, Bea Arthur. But as his electric assistant Iris tells him that Hotline to Heaven isn't available on any streaming platform, it sends Deadpool into a fit of rage. This is not the future that he was promised. He was told that all media would be available at the click of a button, a utopia in which he would never have to leave the comfort of his couch. Is she telling him that this is a world without Hotline to Heaven? A world deprived of the comedy hijinks of a sassy, destitute retiree not taking any guff from the big man upstairs? Now, thanks to the future's incompetence, he must leave the loving embrace of his apartment and seek his pleasures on Analog Avenue. He makes his way down to the local video store, where he finds the store has gone out of business, making his trip pointless. He begins to yell, "This was here 12 years ago! How did this happen?" And then he hears a scream from the alley next to the store, seeing a man being beaten. Deadpool sighs as he shoots the thugs, and the man gets up. "Thank you. Please come inside." The man opens the door to the movie rental store, and Deadpool asks, "Wait, you live here? This is amazing!" And the man says that he was actually the manager, but everyone wants to stream things these days. Deadpool asks him, "What about the movies?" "I need a copy of Hotline to Heaven." And the man tells him that he's sorry, but when they closed, corporate sold everything. All of Mojo's movies did at least go to some place though, but the place is impenetrable. The movie is as good as lost. Deadpool tells him not to worry about what is and isn't impenetrable. Just tell me where. And that place happened to be North Valnon, purchased by the representatives of Lee Min-wan, a dictator and supreme leader of North Valnon. Though he doesn't permit anyone to watch any non-state produced media, he is a fan of American movies and has a 20-story fortress that houses the largest collection of films in the universe. The archive is heavily guarded. No one other than Lee and an elite kill squad whose only mission is to protect the films at all costs are allowed inside. Which, after killing some of those guards, Deadpool just lets himself into the movie mecca and begins to go through all that it has to offer. Guards run in yelling that this is a private collection, that trespassing is punishable by death. So Deadpool throws some of the movies telling them, "Yeah, this collection so far sucks. I've been here 20 minutes and haven't seen a single Bea Arthur movie. Just trash that no one cares about." So after killing all of those guards, Deadpool then asks, "Where are the Bea Arthur movies anyway?" And a man points to a door with a sign above it that says Bea Arthur. Deadpool enters stating, "Of course, this happens every time. I finally find someone to ask for help, and the thing's just sitting in front of my face." As he finds in the movie, more guards storm in and begin to open fire. Deadpool takes out a grenade, tossing it. "Sorry, folks, showtime's about to start. It's a box office bomb." And after finally getting back home and acquiring a VCR, Deadpool grabs his popcorn and gets ready to enjoy the movie that he so fondly remembers. But as he watches, he realizes that apparently he was an idiot as a kid, because this movie sucks. He gets up kicking the TV, stating that he just spent $20 on a VCR to even watch this. What a waste! Next up is Born into the USZOR SUSR. After chatting with his old friend, Deadpool learns that Omega Red has run off and decided to start his own country in Canada. So of course, Deadpool has to check it out. Because who wouldn't want to live in the middle of Canada's tundra to get away from all of the terrible societies of the world? But as Deadpool arrives at his location, he sees that the place is, well, looking like it was made out of scrap garbage. He shrugs, stating, "Well, Rome wasn't built in a day. And neither was an off-brand Soviet-style republic in the middle of the boonies, apparently." As Deadpool enters the shanty town, he reads, "Welcome to the ultra-special zone of Omega Red-sponsored United Soviet Republic, the USZOR SUSR. Sounds catchy. Just then, Omega Red yells, "Wait, listen! Come to my arms! My tiny raspberry boy, you came!" As Deadpool's being crushed by Omega Red's hug, he tells him that he missed him too. "Love what you did with the place, but I gotta ask, why so far from the motherland?" Omega Red scoffs. "Blah! Russia is too small for Omega Red, so I will show them how to make a better country in the barren steppes, and then everyone back home will be super jealous. But come, let me show you around." So Omega Red shows Deadpool around the Cultural Embassy, which is just a music store with nothing other than the music made by Omega Red. The agricultural plot is a man watering what appears to be a twig, a guy named Gary who used to be a local but is really cool, and a cat circus. But most importantly, they have missile defenses, piles and piles of missiles. Deadpool asks, "Aren't you, worried about all of this hardware parked inside of Canada?" And Omega Red pauses for a moment and then bursts out laughing. "Ooh, scared Canada! I better watch out or Alpha Flight will get me. You're a funny man, Deadpool." But just as Omega Red comes down from his laughing fit, there's a rumble on the ground as Ursa Major burrows out of a hole in the ground driving a tank, shouting, "Down with the oppressors!" Deadpool steps back. "Whoa! What's with the angry patented bear?" Omega Red yells that he invited Ursa here last week, but he decided to be an enemy of progress and overthrow him on Tuesday. As an all-out war breaks out, Deadpool watches from the sidelines. "Jeez, things sure went Lord of the Flies around here really quickly." Ursa then blares in the horn, "Super secret sleep cell, activate!" Suddenly, Deadpool is shot from behind, and he turns back to see Gary. "No way! I thought Gary is supposed to be cool!" Gary lunges, jumping on Deadpool, and begins to stab him, but Deadpool throws him off into a missile pile, asking, "What's with the feral Canadians?" He then shoots Gary, triggering a missile, which just happens to fly about and then land on Ursa's tank. But with that, Ursa emerges from the wreckage yelling, "You can try and pry the one true banner from my cold, dead paws all you want." Which, by the way, is just a giant all-red flag. Omega Red then grabs his flag, which also happens to be an all-red flag, stating that this is the only banner that flies over USZOR SUSR. Deadpool looks at the two of them going, "What is this all about if you would both just have a look at..." But both Omega Red and Ursa shout that they are not the same flag. Omega Red says that his is the red Omega symbol on a red field, and Ursa says that his is a red bear human hybrid on a red field. Deadpool stares at both of them for a moment. Oh, now I get it. The comic is all in red tones, so of course we can't see what actually is going on in there. It all makes sense. Well, I have an idea. After a few hours, Deadpool returns stating, "Okay, here it is. Solution to your problems. The new flag of the USZOR SUSR, or whatever you guys are going to call this. Behold the traditional red Omega symbol acting as a noble pillar from whence the proud red bear human hybrid rises to the firmament," which, if you hadn't guessed by now, is just an all-red flag. Both Omega Red and Ursa stare at it. It's beautiful. Ursa holds up his paw to Omega Red and says that under the grand new banner, he would like to welcome an old bear back into the fold. And Omega Red says, "No, I would like to welcome back an old friend." As Omega Red and Ursa both stand proud of their new flag, they're then greeted by Alpha Flight, who happened to be in the neighborhood when they heard that there were some new guests. They came bringing gifts, which within seconds caused all of USZOR SUSR to explode. Was it Alpha Flight? Was it Omega Red? Who knows? There was a giant explosion. And there you have it, Deadpool Black, White, and Blood issue number 1. If you guys enjoyed this, we'll bring you the other 3. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this series.